Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be making a honeycomb in Blender from scratch. Absolutely zero plan going into this. Let's do it. I'm going to turn off my camera for this one and we're just going to have the reference images up. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to do, delete the light, delete the cube, add in a cylinder. So you're probably wondering, Kenny, what do we want to do with the cylinder? Well, the cylinder has some built-in things right here. We're going to type in 6 for vertices. There's this little menu that's going to pop up down here. And just like that, we already have part of our honeycomb. All right, click away from that. Now tab into edit mode. Select your top face and your bottom face and delete them. Now tab out of edit mode. Go ahead and add some modifiers. Add a solidify modifier. And we'll just make it like, I think that thickness. I'm looking at my references right here. That looks to be about right. We can make it a little bit thicker and we can adjust it as needed. Now, again, we're saving as we're going here. Now, for our second modifier, we're going to go to a top-down view, zoom out, and we're going to add, you guessed it, an array modifier. And for this one, we're just going to choose, instead of relative offset, we're going to do constant offset. And we're just going to choose something like that, 1.73. And then we'll do a count of like 10. All right, zoom in on that and make sure that those are butting up against each other really nicely like that. That's perfect. Duplicate the array modifier, and then instead of the X, we're going to choose the Y, and we're just going to space that out as needed. So we're going to go to our top-down view to perfect this here. That looks good. And again, we're just finding that perfect array. That looks good, and there you go. So already we kind of have this honeycomb shape, and this is looking really nice. So let's go ahead and add in some other features. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to show you something really cool. Right now we have our array modifier, which I'm actually going to bump up to like 12 on both of these, and now we have this big grid of our shape here, our honeycomb shape, but I actually just want to cut a square out of this. So how do we do that? I actually just want to go ahead and add in a cube. Go to my top-down view. I'm going to bring our cube out into the middle here, scale it up to about there, should be almost perfect. And now what we want to do is we actually want to use a Boolean modifier. So go ahead and click on our honeycomb, add a Boolean modifier, intersect for the type, click on your eyedropper tool, and then click on the cube. And now if we hide the cube, you can see we have a almost perfect cube of honeycomb, and we do want it to be like ripped off at the end here because I think that looks really nice. Now you can see there's a little bit of glitching happening right here. So what you can do to fix that is you can just scale this up just a little bit and you should get that fixed. And it does look like there's a slight gap here. So let me adjust that array modifier as needed. Again, just trying to fix that gap there. That looks good, and we'll turn our Boolean modifier back on. And that looks good. Cool. And if you need to switch between fast and exact, it's going to affect the way that things look. So now that we have our honeycomb, let's go ahead and add in like our liquid inside. So to add the liquid, let's add a plane. And let's go to a top-down view, bring it over here, scale it up until it's about the correct size for this. We'll scale it in just a little bit. Perfect. Now what we want to do to this is we want to add a solidify modifier. And someone was asking, what does the solidify modifier do? It adds solidity to things that are only like one face or one edge. So right now we have a solid block right here, and this is going to act as our like inner honeycomb liquid. And then what we want to add next is we want to actually bring this up, tab into edit mode, and subdivide this a few times, maybe like 10 times might do it. Actually, let's do a little bit more. Let's do 15 times. So you go ahead and subdivide that 15 times, add a displacement, create a new displacement, and then we're going to do clouds. Now it's going to look a little bit funky here, but what we're going to do is we're going to lower this strength a little bit and add a subdivision surface like so. And then make sure our solidify modifier is after the displacement. And then for the subdivision, you just want to turn that up to 2 or so. And then if you want it to be more detailed, you subdivide it more in edit mode. And then we can just bring down our displacement here and kind of make it look like that. I think that looks perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring it down within our honeycomb here. And as you can see, now it looks like all of the honey honeycomb slots are filled with a liquid. So let's go ahead and shade that smooth, and let's start to like add a little bit more to our scene. So I'm going to add in a plane here for the floor, scale it on up, and I'm going to move it towards our center over here. Now we're a little bit off center, but we can fix this stuff later. Let me go ahead and go into our camera here and just rotate it towards our honeycomb, move it up. Let's give ourselves a nice orthographic perspective, and then we'll do 1080 by 1920. And we're gonna go ahead and zoom out here a bunch. I'm also gonna back the camera up. Cool. And we're gonna do a nice sharp 45-degree angle on this one. And again, we're just gonna zoom out here like this. Also make sure your camera is like high enough above your floor where you're not getting any clipping here. Let's head over to rendered view, go to cycles, GPU, add in an environment texture here so we have some basic lighting to our scene. Fantastic. Now we can actually see what the heck is going on here. For the background, for now, I'm just going to make this a nice dark color so we can kind of see these different colors pop here. And then for our honeycomb itself, I'm just going to give that a principled BSDF with like a nice yellow kind of shader here. Maybe not like too yellow, maybe something like that. And then for our the actual honey itself, I'm going to give that a glass shader with an IOR of 1.33 and no roughness. And then for the color, we're going to choose something that's kind of like an orange kind of yellow kind of color. So already you can start to see that we have this really nice honey effect in our scene, and this is looking really, really nice, but I kind of want to take it to like the next level here. So I'm going to head back over to solid view, and I'm going to expand Blender a little bit so we can really see what's going on here. I'm going to zoom in, and I am going to raise my solidify modifier, make it a little bit more, bring this down. And then for our honeycomb, if you guys look at our actual reference photos, you'll see that we actually have multiple layers here. So there's like a top layer and a bottom layer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mirror this on the Z. So I'm going to add a mirror modifier right here. I'm going to choose Z, and as you can see, nothing happens, and that's because we need kind of like a pivot point. So I'm going to add in an empty plane axis, and then I'm going to kind of drag it right below our honeycomb here and just try to like center it the best that I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll show you what we're going to do after this. Go ahead and select with the eyedropper tool our empty. And now, as you can see, we have that honeycomb on the bottom. And then if we bring our empty up, we can just kind of close that gap there. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that actually looks like. Okay, cool. And then again, if you guys bring this down, we can kind of separate that gap again. Now with our liquid, I'm actually going to make the solidify modifier go pretty much all the way down. So let's go ahead and bring it to the middle, bring our thickness up like that. Let's just see what that looks like. Cool, so it should be on both sides now. And it's showing through both sides, perfect. And it's actually a little bit around our honeycomb as well. So we're actually getting that to seep through the honeycomb, which is really, really nice. So I'm pretty happy with like what we have so far. Now I'm gonna keep looking at these reference images, but one of the things I really wanted to do is I actually want to take this thing right here, this like honeycomb like wand or whatever the heck this thing is, and actually design this. So I'm just gonna push my reference image over here to the right. I am going to go back to my solid view, and I'm going to get out of X-ray mode, and let's go ahead and actually design this thing. So I'm going to add in a cylinder, and we're going to build everything off of this cylinder. Now, right now, I actually just realized we need to have more divisions here, so I'm going to add my cylinder, back in, and we're going to go with, instead of 6 vertices, we'll do like, how about 15? That looks good. And we can come back and add a subdivision to this as well. But for now, let's go ahead and start creating this. So I'm going to head into edit mode here. I'm going to add a loop cut for the top, and I'm going to kind of add one right under that. I'm actually going to add 3 loop cuts, and you'll see what I'm doing in just a moment here. So hop into your X-ray mode, highlight your vertices, and scale them inwards like that. Now take this bottom set and bring it all the way down. Take this set, E, Z, like that, and then we're going to extrude it one more time like so, and we're going to scale it in a bit. Now one of the things I really like to do, oops, there we go, is I'm actually going to add a subdivision surface to this, and we're going to see what this really looks like when it's going to be smoothed out. Now make sure you guys take the top face, right, and you inset that, and you'll see, watch what happens when we inset this top face. Much better. Cool. And we're already starting to get like our honeycomb shape here. Go into our side view here. Now we're going to need to add a loop cut towards the bottom. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and take a closer look at what this looks like under here. There we go. Add a loop cut here. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and take this one, scale it out a little bit, bring it up. And then we're going to add another loop cut here. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Not bad. We're going to need to have like cuts in here as well. This is going to be, I knew this was going to be kind of a pain to model, but that's okay. Scale that in there. And then this part, actually, we need a loop cut here, and this part kind of comes in a little bit. I can't really see the end of this right here, but I'm trying my best to model it. Oh wait, now you can see it. Hold on. Yeah, so it like goes in and it comes back out. And actually it looks much thinner now that I'm looking at it again. So I'm going to take these, thin them out a little bit. Bring this back. Okay, that looks decent. This is kind of a hard object to model, not gonna lie. I'm trying my best here though. All right, so now let's go ahead and add those like slits inside. Now, I think what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna use a Boolean modifier for this. So you're probably wondering what object I'll use. I'm going to use a torus, bring this up, and I'm gonna use this to cut into our shape here. So I'm hoping this works well. We're about to find out. Again, this is these little like ridges in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 of them. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little tricky thing here with an array modifier. So I'm going to first make 8 of these going up. All right, so let's go ahead and type in 8. Bring this down. Now check this out. I'm going to space these out a little bit. I'm going to scale them in a little bit like that. And then also, yeah, actually might as well look inside the model, make sure this is going to cut in properly. Now it looks like they slowly kind of fade with this. So what I think I can do is actually add a simple deform to this. And then we can do, let's see, I think we can do taper from the Z. Yeah, okay, that's what I was looking for. So we can actually taper this, which is really nice. So I'm actually going to give this 5, or let's do 4 cuts here. Scale it in like this, right? Now hear me out, guys. Bring this down, right? We'll do 5. And let's space them out just a little bit more. Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a mirror modifier. So let's add a mirror modifier. And then we're going to do Z, right? Now, as you can see, it's not working, right? And that's because we need to add an empty. So let's add an empty, bring it up to about here, scale it up a little bit, and let's target that empty. And then obviously we can bring the empty back down, scale these up, bring them up, and just slowly kind of build this thing out until it's just right. Now these are going to have to be scaled just a little bit more. That looks almost perfect. I think that'll work. Let's go ahead and take a look at our reference. Now we should be able to just cut right in there with our Boolean. I think this should work nicely. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we're gonna try it. I'm also going to shade these smooth, and then I'm going to just try to cut right into this and see if it works. And it kind of worked. I think it worked pretty well. There's a little bit of glitching down here, but that should be fine. And then with this torus itself, we can probably scale it down just a little bit. What do you guys think? I mean, I think that looks pretty good. That looks pretty close to what we have. I just want to go into edit mode here, take this top face, bring it up a little bit, tab back out. I mean, overall, that's pretty much the honeycomb thing. So I'm just going to apply everything here, and I am going to take this, bring it over there, and I'm going to head back into my rendered view, and just see what this looks like. Now I have a really awesome thing that I'm going to use here for my materials. It's a real-time material pack that someone made for me. They're probably watching right now. Let's go back to my materials. Here it is, wood, real-time materials. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. I think, was there another one in here? These look good. This one might work. Maybe this one here. Let me try this one, and if this doesn't work, we'll come back. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and change this to this material, and then let's go ahead and brighten this up a lot. Where's the hue? Wood color. Oh, here we go. We want more of like an orange kind of color, but we want it to be a lot brighter. So let's see if we can take a look here and make it brighter. It doesn't look terrible right now, but I do want this to be brighter. So let's try this. Oh, here we go. Dark tone, dark tone. Is that working? That kind of works. I think we might go with another material for just right now. Actually, guys, I apologize. Let me just go back to my real-time materials pack from Ducky 3D real quick. And we're just going to grab a quick material from here because he does have some wood texture. So I think I'm going to go with something like maybe this one. So I'm just going to copy that over. And if that doesn't work, we can always get one somewhere else. Cool. So we have our material here. And let's go ahead and switch it to this. Not bad. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I just need this to be the roughness a little bit higher. Cool. It doesn't look terrible. And then we can mess with the different textures on it too, which is awesome. Very cool. This is a fantastic material. Cool. All right, we can always come back to that. But we have our honeycomb looking thing right here. And now we need to maybe put some honey on top of this, I think, and just kind of make this thing look a little bit better. I'm also going to bring this up. I'm tempted to add that grid floor shader because I absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and raise that value. Okay. All right, let's save this. Cool. All right, now what we want to do is I think I'm going to kind of make a drip go over top of this. So in order to do that, let's just add in a sphere and let's sculpt it from scratch. So let's first of all bring this on top of our object. Cool. Maybe like right about there. Cool. All right, so we have our object. Let me just make it the honey material. And let's bring it like right about here, scale it down, bring it like that. That looks good. And then I think what I'm going to do is just sculpt this thing and make it look like it's dripping around, just like our reference image here. So I'm going to try my best to just do that as good as I possibly can. So let's go ahead and go into our sculpting. Let's take this thing and try to make it look like it's dripping. Very first thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to flatten it out quite a bit on the top. Yep. And then I'm going to take my, where is it, the elastic tool. I haven't done the sculpting process in a while, but it's kind of fun to do because you get to really get in here and like you can remesh this thing like many times. You can smooth it out. There's a lot we can do here. And then you can inflate, which is one of my favorite things. I'm going to turn on, well, first I'm going to remesh this to like 0.05 maybe. Cool, and remesh. Cool. And now we can just begin like inflating these different parts here, adding more liquid where we need it. And then I'm going to take my grab tool and just kind of start forming this around like this. Now, I have no idea what this other side is supposed to look like, but I'm going to just kind of make my best guesses. I'm going to kind of inflate this as we go. I'm going to continue to remesh, just grab the different elements off of this, make this thing drip down. Again, I'm going to probably create multiple drips here. Now, right now at this point, I probably should remesh before I even do that. I'm going to remesh again. Cool. And then I'm going to inflate this little area here. Let's bring that strength up. Cool. So this part right here is where I want my second drip to be. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the grab tool and I'm going to start pulling that down like that. And then the smooth tool I'm going to be using very shortly here. You're probably not going to see much of this part here, so there really won't be any need to make there be too much detail here. Remesh again. And again, we're going to use the grab tool. Kind of pull this down. Okay. And I'm going to inflate this area here. Let's remesh real quick. And then let's go ahead and take our grab tool again. And just go ahead and bring this down. Like that. Now, what's really cool is when we remesh, we can like remesh at any value. So it might look a little funky now, but when we start to smooth everything out, it should look really, really good. Okay. Again, this side doesn't matter as much because I don't think I'm going to have this side like really facing the camera. Cool. Now, what's really cool too is we can take this and we can cut into it. So where is our scrape tool? There it is. So the scrape tool, or is it the scrape tool or the multiplane scrape? There it is. So we should be able to do this. Let's see. There we go. And we can start to form this thing to our shape here. So let's go ahead and do elastic deform. Again, I knew this was going to be kind of a process, but I'm trying my best to make this thing look semi-natural the way it flows off of our shape. Now at the bottom here, I'm going to remesh real quick. At the bottom, I'm going to inflate it a little bit. So you'll notice if you look, it kind of comes down, like, I don't know if you guys can see the picture anymore, but it kind of comes down and then forms this kind of like drip, like right here. Right, like that, and then this one as well. Now this one we're gonna go ahead and deform this even more. Cool, and we're gonna go ahead and inflate that. Cool. Now in a second here, I'm gonna actually start remeshing this properly. So let's go ahead and remesh at a higher value. Let's do instead of 0.05 to 0.01. There we go. Now, if we take our smooth tool, we can start actually like smoothing this thing out and making it look kind of semi-decent. And then we can really start adding some details here. Cool. Yeah, it's looking a lot better. It's probably not going to look perfect until we start to smooth all these details out. But again, this is looking really nice. We're going to smooth out the bottom of this a lot. I'm going to bring my strength up a lot. There we go. You can see it's really smoothing these areas out now. And then I'm also going to inflate this a little bit more. And I'm going to bring in the sides here. Sweet. And then we're going to go ahead and just continue to smooth this thing out. Sweet. All right, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to make this thing drip down here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and inflate an area over here. Right, and make this thing kind of drip down back here. You can really get detailed with this, like if you want to. Like right now, I'm kind of just getting into it, just having some fun with it. But every time you remesh, you add more geometry, basically. Or sorry, like if you add more geometry and then you remesh, you're going to get a lot of interesting results. So like we can kind of pull this down in here, you know what I mean? Make it look like it's going into that crack there. And we're just going to continue to smooth everything out as much as we can. Now, another thing we can do is we can remesh twice. So we can remesh to a lower value and then come back up to a higher value. And what that'll do is kind of like oversimplify everything. So if I click on remesh right now, and I smooth this out, here we go. I wonder how this looks in rendered view. Should we just check it out? Let's see. Not terrible. Honestly, not bad at all. I mean, at this point, like, we could leave it like that, or we just keep messing with it. On the top, I want it to be a little bit more inflated, like it was, like, just poured. You know what I mean? Maybe not that much. Maybe like that. And then, of course, we're going to add a few, like, ripples in here, right? Get some texturing on there. Cool. And that is pretty much how you do it. Now, that is just based on a sphere alone. So I'm gonna remesh this one more time. And instead of 0.01, I'm going to do 0.05. Click on remesh. And then I'm going to smooth the crap out of everything. Hold on. There we go. Now, it's not going to look that good yet, but if we go over to layout, we should be able to just shade this smooth, and it should look pretty much fine. And there you go. So that's kind of like our honey right there. And what's great is we can now rotate all this as needed. Like, I don't think that looks terrible. I think that's fine. And then we can also adjust the coloration as well. So if we want to make it like a little bit more orange gold, then that's fine. Look at the way the honey is like refracting in there. That looks cool. So yeah, okay, that's that part. All right, cool. Let's focus more on the honey itself now too, because I think the honeycomb itself, if we go over to the shading tab, we could probably create a custom shader for this, because right now, although it looks really, really good, I think that we could do more work to this. So the honeycomb itself is just a principal BSDF, but I think I want to mix it with a glass BSDF. And let's go ahead and just make a mix shader. And let's see what we can do here. Now, if you made it all glass, it would look like that. But I don't want that. I want us to have some control over what we're doing here. So let's try like a Fresnel node for the FAC. See what we can do. And then 1.2. Oh, you know what we also have to do? We have to adjust our light paths. I'm going to do 20 for every light path. 20 for the total. And cool. Okay, so we're not going to do it this way. I decided we are going to do... How about a transparent, maybe? No, we could do... Oh, what else is there? There's emissive, and then there's... Oh, a gradient from the bottom to the top. Honeycomb will be... Oh, that's what I was going to add. Thank you, actually, for reminding me that, because I was going to add that. I know you might not believe me, but I was. Whoa. Wait, that looks interesting. That might be able to work. All right, we'll come back to that in a second. That looks cool, though. And then adjusting the roughness might help, too. But I also want this to be, like, the same color that it's supposed to be. All right, let's try a gradient. Yeah, no, let's do that. Color ramp. Texture coordinate. And then mapping as usual. And I know, guys, I know there's a shortcut for this. I don't care. A lot of people try to kind of come at me for my inability to use all the shortcuts, but to be honest, like, I could care less. In fact, it's just more frustrating hearing that, because I have the shortcuts that I like, and then a lot of people don't like my methods sometimes, which is fine, but I don't know, this is my workflow. Like, the way that I do it is the way that I'm going to continue to do it. So now there's certain things that, yes, I could probably get faster at, but right now I'm not like too concerned with it. All right, so let's see. Object. Am I seeing the gradient? Here, let me just make this a ridiculous color so I can see where the heck this gradient is. I'm not seeing it. Point. That's weird. Where is my gradient? Oh, there's... Okay, that's cool. Actually, that looks kind of neat. But let's do... Whoa. In a weird way, I kind of like that. Maybe the yellow is a little bit much. Huh. That actually looks not too bad. I might roll with that. It looks kind of cool. It's interesting because there's also, if we look at our reference, there's also like parts of it that are, it's almost like a layer weight effect where you have this white peeking in every now and then. So let me see if I can get away with one more mix and then maybe like this layer weight. Just want to see something really quickly. Kind of experimenting here, guys, but trying to think if that looks any different than this. Not too much different. Oh, I gotta make this white, that's why. Actually, let me make it pink so I can, or blue, so I can actually see where this thing is coming through. All right, there we go. Now we can actually kind of see where this thing is. All right, we're going to do Fresnel, and then we're going to give this a color ramp and make this black and make this one white. You guys are probably wondering what the heck I'm doing. It'll make sense in a second. Or it won't. Let's see. Linear, blend, yep. Alright, we're going to try to plug in the facing instead. Okay, that looks pretty okay. Now, the blue is obviously not what we're going for, but I'm trying to just get some subtle color hints in there of maybe that white coloration. There we go. Whoa. I don't know if I'm in love with it. I think I'm going to go back to what I had before. Yeah, I think I like that. What do you guys think? I actually think that doesn't look that bad for a honeycomb. I can go back and forth with this stuff all day, but I think that looks pretty good. The scale itself of this needs to be less. There we go. Cool. All right, that looks pretty cool. So far I'm happy. Again, this is we're just experimenting here, but let's go back to the real-time materials pack real quick, and let's kind of go to our top-down view, and I want to find a cool material for like the ground or for like the floor, something that fits the vibe. Hopefully, that's kind of cool. I'm looking for a darker material. Leather might be cool. Let's see. This is like a black leather material. Let's try it. Let's try it. Should the honey be sticking out of the comb like that? Not necessarily, no. But we can fix that. But yeah, I totally see your point. And this is why I love like live streaming with comments too, because you guys are always able to point out stuff that I'll never notice. Let's see. And I'm going to enable some depth of field action here as well. Oops. Let's do that. Perfect. Ooh, that looks nice. Okay, and I'm going to bring my camera down a little bit also. This looks cool. So far, I'm like pretty happy and pleased with it. All right, so someone said, should the honey be sticking out of the comb like that? Not necessarily, but it also, if you look here, it is kind of like, it's kind of just all over the place. Oh, you know what else we need is this ground piece here, which is basically just like a flat. We'll probably just use a flat sphere for that. Let me just see if we can do that real quick. Add mesh, and then we'll come back to what you just said, which is a very, very valid point. All right, let me just bring this right here. We're just gonna make like a little puddle. And then we're gonna do, you know what we'll do? We'll just do a little displacement action. Clouds, that's fine. And then we'll go ahead and give this a subdivision surface. Let me just see how this is looking. There we go. How's that look? That looks like a little puddle of honey there. And I'm going to bring the floor up so it's like sitting in the honey, kind of. And then, you know what we could do, guys? We could sculpt around this. Let me scale this up a little bit. We could sculpt, like, the honey into each little, like, pore here. Or maybe we could... I kind of don't mind it. I think I'm going to take this middle object. Let me just do this so I can see what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to take this original plane object, duplicate it, keep the original, and then I'm going to apply all my modifiers to this. And then what we could do is take it into sculpting mode. Oops, that's shading. Sculpting, and then we could kind of just sculpt the edges here and do whatever we need to with them. So we could like push them in, pull them. Let me first remesh this whole thing to 0.01. There we go. And then let's see if this is working. All right, it is. So now we can use our elastic deform. Why am I not seeing anything happen here? Is this working? Oh, it is working. Oh, am I on the wrong plane here? Sorry, guys, I'm getting some glitching here. That's weird. It's like the original plane is still showing. Oh, it's this one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I can see what's going on. Okay, sorry, guys. The original plane was still showing, which obviously we don't want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this thing kind of look a little bit more realistic. Try to pull this through here. This was a good idea. Whoever pointed this out, very, very good idea. And I 100% agree that we should do this. Just so that it's not looking too bad. And then I think I'm going to inflate it on the areas where it's not poking through and hope that it will. Just a little bit, just like that. You know what I mean? Have it come through these edges here. Yep, just like that. And then we'll come back in here, remesh, and smooth everything out. So like right here, this is a great point. I'm going to go ahead and push this back. Yep. And we're not going to see that other side, so we're only going to see these two sides here. So I'm really just going to mainly work on these. Yep, looks good. Bring that in. Bring that in there. And then right here we'll inflate a little bit. Maybe have this seep through just a little bit. Cool. That definitely looks a little bit better, I feel like. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, now let's go ahead and remesh one more time. And then I'm just going to hit this with the smooth brush. Smooth everything out. There we go. Very good. Smooth that out. Yep. Smooth and smooth. This part doesn't look quite right, so I might push this back entirely. Just get it out of there. Cool. You know what else I think I might do, guys? Top-down view. Just like inflate some parts of these, you know what I mean? Maybe not too much. Let's adjust that radius. I don't know if you guys can like see what I'm doing here, but just in the middle, just inflating these just a little bit, make them look like they're really like kind of like the viscosity is correct, if that makes sense. This is, I guess, where those real details come in. Like, this might separate this as like a bad piece of art from back to like a good piece of art. Again, I'm trying to, I guess I'll just get every one of these just a little bit, right? Just to make them kind of pop a little bit more. We'll see how this looks when I'm done. Hopefully this makes a good difference here. Yeah, like even this one needs to be like filled up more anyway. Yep. Perfect. Yep, perfect, perfect. Just try to hit as many of these as we can. I feel like this is gonna look really, really good when it's done though. I'm hoping, guys. Did I miss any? I think I missed this one. All right, should we go back and see? Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but there it is. I mean, I think it looks good. The actual texture here, I think, needs some work. looks a little bit better. Part of me almost wants to give this a wood ground, or maybe like, let's see. There's definitely some objects in here that I need to hide. Where's the, no, maybe there isn't. That actually doesn't look that bad. Not that I expected it to look bad, but trying to see if there's any more subtleties here. I'm pretty happy with how that came out, actually. You know what I just noticed, though, too? This should 100% be bigger. And if we really wanted to, we could take this and duplicate it. Like we could have two of these stacks, so maybe we can take this one and this. Oops, we're gonna need to apply the modifiers to that. All right, let me duplicate my cylinder and apply all the modifiers. And then I'm gonna bring it over here, rotate it. Something like that, possibly. Trying to make sure it doesn't go through the bottom, but there we go. Maybe something like that. Let me just see that angle real quick. Okay, that doesn't look terrible. All right, and then we just need to get the actual honey itself and duplicate that. And then we just need to copy the rotation. I'm just going to add a constraint. I know this is such a cheesy way to do it. Copy location of this. And, oh, you know what? I'm also going to set origin to geometry. And then I'm also going to copy the rotation of this. Did I do it right? That almost worked. I'm just going to apply both of these and just bring it up. All right, that might have been a cheesy way to do it, but whatever. I don't know if I wanted this to look realistic or not, but it actually didn't turn out that bad. I know that the texture is getting blown out on the live stream, but not terrible. You know what else I want to do? I want to take a look at this puddle real quick. And I want to adjust the puddle just a little bit, because right now I'm looking at the puddles on the reference images, and they are a little bit more distorted. So I think I want to add a little bit of distortion in the sculpting mode. So I'm going to head over to sculpting. I'm also going to apply the displacements. I'm going to remesh this. There we go. And then I'm just going to give this a little bit of like variation every here and then. Okay. Yeah, let's make it look like it's kind of connected to our honey right here. You know what I mean? It's kind of like coming off of the honey rather. Especially like right here. Kind of build this area up here. Maybe a little bit back here. You know? I'm hoping this looks natural. Cool. And like that. And then I think I might just add a couple little swirly lines in here. And then I think I'm going to take my elastic deform, go to my top down view, and just kind of drag this out like that. Kind of give this a little bit more dimension. I think I want the back to come out even more, like it's really spilled out, you know? That looks much better. I'm very happy with that. The only thing I can think of is I'm not 100% with this wood texture here. Now, this wood texture on the surface actually looks pretty good. Let me just turn off some of these overlays so I can really see. Turn off extras. Turning off like everything in the scene so that I can like really see what this is going to look like. What do you guys think so far? I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I think the actual texture of the honeycomb could probably be improved. It's very, very rigid. I think we could add some more organic nature to it, maybe with like a particle system. and maybe have the particles coming from the mesh. So let's just see. I just want to see something real quick. If I was to apply a particle system to this, just need to make sure I know what is selected here. There we go. Okay, so this thing is selected. So if we were to take this and add a particle system to it, I just want to see real quick if it would work or not. I just want to see render instead of path. Real quick, I just want to test something out, guys. Can you make a hair particles an object? Instead of path, we'll do object, and we'll do this. Yeah, you can. Okay, so we could add a bunch of particles to this that look similar to the actual honey. Oops, that's my OBS. Sorry, guys. So in this case, we have our honey right here. I just want to see. It looks like it has, if you really look close, it has like little particles and little like something is on it. It's almost like these little like fragments. Like I wonder if we could just use a plane and make that the object that's being targeted and just have these little fragments everywhere. Let's try that. So right now this is just a cube. Maybe I could just flatten the cube. Right? Make it really, really small and thin. And see there's these little fragments. And then I wonder if we make the cube the same color as the honey, what that would look like. Yeah, it doesn't really look quite right, but I'm trying to think of ways that we can actually make this look a little bit more like, I don't know, rigid, or give it a little bit more dimension almost. Let's see. Scale randomness, yeah. Object rotation. I wonder, oh, you know what? Hair shape, maybe this? No, I don't really know that there's much to adjust here. The scale itself has to be way smaller though. Especially if we're actually going to make this look the way I think it's going to look. Let's see. And then the thing I was kind of going for here. No! Don't freeze on me now, Blender. I think I saved it. So I'm going to cancel this out. Alright. Pray for me, guys. Pray for me that that's saved. If it did, I'm going to take off the particle emitter. Or I'm going to just make it less. Let's make it like 100. There we go. Okay. I don't really think it's doing anything, so I'm gonna remove it. Now, one of the things I guess I could do is just add some slight roughness and variation to this. The other thing, guys, I just realized, and I don't know how I didn't think of this sooner. Let me duplicate this original one right here. Let's see. Alright. So this is the duplicated one. I'm gonna apply all the modifiers, and I think I'm gonna give this some slight distortion with a displacement modifier. I'm going to make a new displacement modifier. I'm going to do clouds. There we go. So this isn't perfect. I'm going to adjust this, but notice how much distortion there is. Like now, not all the honeycombs are the same, and that's actually kind of what I wanted. Although I might be able to get away with this with a simple deform. And then we'll use bend. Let's see. I almost wonder, hold on. Do you guys see where I'm going with this though? I'm trying to give this more organic like type of feel. Let's see, taper, twist, stretch. Definitely don't want it to like stretch. Twist maybe, hold on. No, I kind of liked bend. Bend wasn't bad. Or was it taper? Which one did I have? No. Alright, you know what? Hold on. We're going to try something different. Let's try displace again. And then we'll do clouds and we'll add a subdiv after that. Or maybe we'll do subdiv first. Hold on. Some slight variation would be fantastic. How's that look? Let's just see. That doesn't look bad. You know what we'll do before this? I'm really getting into this now. Let's remesh it. Yep, we're going to do a remesh. We're going to do remesh, smooth, don't remove disconnected. No, we'll do, what was that, voxel? Voxel actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, let's do voxel. I'm going to apply that. And I just want to see the mesh now. All right, so the mesh is much more like uniform. So now I'm going to take a displacement modifier, new, clouds. Maybe not clouds, noise maybe. Just see something. What in the heck is happening here? We do 0.2. All right, let's try that. Whoa. Not at all what I wanted. Although part of me wonders if I could combine this with this hexagonal shape. You guys feel where I'm going with this now? All right, let's just take it a step further. Let me just look at our reference images again. If I can do this, there we go. So our reference images, it is jagged on some parts, right? But then if we look, it's pretty uniform, but a lot of it is like jagged and random. So I'm wondering if we can just somehow randomize this within Blender and then also maybe have certain parts of it be jagged. So some of it will be uniform, some of it will be jagged. So maybe we could combine this with the other one. If I unhide my original one, there it is. That actually doesn't look terrible. So at this rate, actually that looks pretty damn good. I think I might keep that and then do the same thing for this one over here. So let's let's take this. Let's call this HoneyComb 2, and let's just duplicate it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a remesh modifier, and that was, what is it, 0.05 I believe is what it was. Apply it, and then I'm going to add a displacement. Actually, I can just copy the displacement from this one. Cylinder, that's cylinder 03. So let me copy modifiers. Oops, that was the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, I'm getting mixed up here. There's so many different pieces. All right, it's this one, this one. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I think I did it, guys. I think I did it. Yeah, we're good. All right, so now we have two honeycombs, both with some displacement on the inside, and then we have the pool of honey, some nice depth of field. We have our, like, whatever this thing is called up here. Now, the only other thing I can think of is to kind of mess with this more, the actual material. Again, trying to, now I'm like, at this point, I might as well try to make this look semi-realistic. I do think the honeycomb looks pretty good. Let me take a look over here on this and see what material this is. This is just like a wood material with like a slight glossy feel. And then you can see there's like a light here. Should we add a light to our scene to make it look, to make everything look a little glossier? Right now this is just like a basic lighting setup. It's just an HDRI. So let me add an area light. Put it right here. Scale it up. Oh, I can't see it because I turned off all of the overlays. Oh my god. There we go. Now I can see it. All right, so let's scale this thing up, point it towards our scene, and then I'm going to raise the value to 1000, and I still can't see anything. Where the heck is it? There it is. You know what? Let's try 5000. Why am I not seeing anything? That's weird. Oh, what did someone ask? I'm sorry. Someone asked in the chat. Ambient occlusion. This is... I don't know what you're saying about ambient occlusion. I'm sorry. Or maybe I'm stupid. Well, should we try point light now? Area light should work. Am I, like, not seeing anything from this light, though? Is it just not bright enough? We should be seeing a really harsh, like, reflection on everything. So weird. It's almost like the light isn't even working. I'm gonna restart Blender real quick. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like the shadows in the wood thing are too bright. All right, again, why is this not working? Let's see. Still nothing. Okay, that's weird. Let's try a different HDRI for now. I don't know what the deal is with that light. Oof, that's not gonna work. Oh wait, we have a studio HDRI. But the thing about the studio HDRI is that it almost never really looks that good. This is like an outdoor HDRI. That actually doesn't look that bad though. Hold on, let me just go to my shading tab. Go to my world. And then let's go ahead and just add in some mapping. Add in some texture coordinate. And let's just mess around with the lighting. So that's like a front-facing lighting. Doesn't look terrible, actually. It looks pretty damn good. Sorry, I realize you guys can't see that. It actually doesn't look that bad. The crazy part is, like, we did a lot with the honeycomb, but there's so much more we could do. The actual wood grain itself, I think, now that I'm looking at it, like the scale of it, is it correct? Or is that better? And then the roughness. Here we go. What do you guys think so far? Someone said ambient occlusion, and I don't know what you meant by that. I think I kind of want to add a slight bevel to the. I wonder if I add a bevel to this, if it will bevel those edges there. I'm curious. It's not gonna want to do that for me. Okay. Maybe I'll just do it in edit mode. Wait, why is that all selected? That's weird. Do I use the Node Wrangler add-on? I do not, but I've been told that I need to, so maybe I will eventually. But let me get this edge. Let me get these edges here selected. Alright, almost done. I'm going to select all the edge loops in a second here. I know there's probably an easier way to do this. Alright. Select loops, edge loops. That didn't work. That didn't work either. Okay, that's weird. Maybe we just won't do that then. Did I shade this smooth? Oh my god, I didn't even shade it smooth this whole time, guys. Alright, that's fine. I mean, I still think it looks good. It's just the wood grain itself is totally off. That might be a little bit better. Oh my gosh, wait. Guys, I'm so sorry. Let me undo all of that. Part of me doesn't know if I love the wood for this bottom thing here. I don't know. I don't think it looks bad. I don't think it looks bad. And you know what, guys? We have an orthographic perspective. We should probably do a regular perspective, right? If we really want this to look real. So let me back up the camera here. Alrighty, let's see. All right. Let's mess with this value again. Bro, what? Alright, something weird is happening with that wood floor, but we'll come back to that in a second. Let me re-enable depth of field. Cool. Alright, so everything else looks fine. This got all messed up. Hold on. I'm going to go back to my... Let me go to this project. I kind of want to see what it looks like with the darker wood, too. I'm going to copy these. Copy those. Go back. Sorry, guys. This is such a process. This is me. This is the reason I take so long on projects sometimes is because I'm constantly trying to make them as perfect as possible. So this is what kind of what you get. Nope, that's not going to work. Alright, this is going to take me way too long to figure out what I want to do with this. Hold on, let's see. Let's go here, let's go to Pro Marble. Let me look at these real quick. So I got this I got from a friend. Let me try the marble. You guys are probably wondering when this tutorial is going to be over. Probably never. Oh, conveniently, there he is. What's up, buddy? Long time no talk. Using your materials right now. Let me see. I actually kind of liked what we had before with the orthographic perspective. I think I might take it back. Doesn't look terrible. I just am not in love with the texture. Hold on. Let me look something up. Oh, you know what? Hold up. I'm such an idiot. I literally have a full access to this right here. Cutting board. Let's just see. Let's just see if we can find a good one. Maybe a photo scanned one would be nice. Oh, that's kind of nice. Ooh. Kitchen set. I don't know why it would be on a cutting board, though. That's the only thing. Let me see what these look like. Alright, let's see. Where are they? Okay, there they are. Oh my god, you bought a badge, bro. Thank you. You guys are so... Why is everybody so nice to me today? I didn't even do anything. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. It really, really does. Curious. It actually doesn't look terrible. I think it is photo scanned. It's a little bit, like you can tell down here, it doesn't look that good, but... Part of me just wants to do a simple thing now, too. Suggest a best resolution to upload renders at Instagram with good quality, 1920 by 1080, or sorry, 1080 by 1920. At this point, I think I'm going to cut the YouTube tutorial off and just kind of fine-tune this on my live stream. So anybody watching on YouTube, take it easy. You'll see the full result on my Instagram, but I don't want to waste any more time on OBS here because it takes up a lot of recording space. So you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.